Before I start the video, I just want to apologise for the long wait of this series. I believe this episode was recorded quite a while ago now. It was supposed to go out a few days after the San Marino video went out, and I can only apologise for that. This last month has been very stressful for me, and there will be an update video coming out very soon. I know I did one quite recently, but I feel like I have to do another one because I only did 2 videos in the last month. So now, let's get on to F1 Manager Part 4 of Monaco Grand Prix. Once again, I apologise for this series' long wait, and cue the intro. Hey, what's up? It is Dan, or DMAT96 here, and welcome back to our F1 Manager Career Mode with Stewart GP. And in today's episode, we will be doing the Monaco Grand Prix. Last time out at San Marino, due to many retirements, we managed to take a brilliant second thanks to Johnny Herbert. But in the Monaco Grand Prix, the attrition rate isn't going to be as high as San Marino. We'll probably get like 1 or 2 retirements. Apart from that, not really that much. Overtaking isn't that common here as well. And it could be a crazy race due to past experiences I've had with this game. I've had brilliant qualifying results, and race results. Usually it can make some exciting racing due to previous save files. Usually the cars end up charging through the field, so we could see some of that in today's race. The race lap record is set by Mika Hakkinen at the 1998 race, was the year before. But now it's time to move on to the news of the 2000 Formula 1 season. The first team to make the headlines today are Prix, with a huge confirmation of Jordan's Ian Phillips as their commercial manager. This will certainly help them out financially next year, and that's not the only piece of news that the team have confirmed. They are also the first of many to announce a driver in the form of Sauber's Pedro Diniz filling in the driver 1 position and putting a lot of pressure under current driver 1 Olivier Panis. The Sauber team have reacted to this with the signings of BAR's Ricardo Zonta as Pedro's replacement. Minardi have managed to retain the services of technical director Gustav Brunner and driver Marc Genet, this time promoting him to the driver 1 position, putting his teammate Luca Badoa under pressure to keep his drive at the team. Despite losing their commercial manager to Prost, Jordan still managed to hold on to their current and slightly cheap electronics Honda PGM-IG, as Arrows make a brilliant decision to keep their top quality AP Racing brakes for the 2000 season. Staying with the suppliers, and Benetton seems to be going downhill. The former champions have not only decided to keep their low quality Brembo brakes, but have also joined Ron Dennis and McLaren and have picked up Ford Zetec engines. It continues to get worse for Benetton, as straight after that announcement, their current driver 1 Giancarlo Fisichella announced that he will be joining the newcomers BAR for their second season in a surprising turn of events. BAR complete their announcements with the signing of Ferrari's commercial manager Stefano Domenicali. But McLaren are at the top of the headlines once again. Last time they announced the controversial decision to run Ford Zetec engines in the place of their current Mercedes-Benz engines for the 2000 season, but a huge signing was made with Michael Schumacher announcing that he will drive for the current champions next season. And regarded as the best driver in Formula 1 right now, this is a huge move for McLaren and could help them win the championships despite their bad engine choice. This now leaves the question of where current champion Mika Hakkinen will go, with the Ferrari driver 1 position now open. And what do Ferrari have to say in response? By signing Takagi from Arrows. Only as their test driver, however, with a Japanese driver impressing a few faces at Ferrari to give him the chance of developing the car for the coming future. That's all the news for today, and now it's time to go down to the track, as the practice session for the Monaco Grand Prix is about to get underway. Okay, so practice has just finished here for the Monaco Grand Prix, and there is no real surprise in the top 3. Michael Schumacher fastest, and Mika Hakkinen and Eddie Irvine. And then after that we have a very, very strange lineup. Giancarlo Fisichella in 4th, followed by Jack Villeneuve, both scoring high points for San Marino Grand Prix. 4th and 5th. David Coulthard is behind them in 6th position. And then we have Ricardo Zonta and Pedro De La Rosa in the Arrows in 8th position. Alexander Wurz and Toru Takagi completing the top 10 for the Arrows team, with Johnny Herbert down in 11th place. Not really bad, to be honest, despite Obviously, Monaco being very unpredictable qualifying. But yeah, that's not bad for Johnny Herbert. 11th place isn't terrible around Monaco. The Jordans have split us with Barrichello 14th. And then for Williams drivers, way down in 17th and 21st. And Marc Genet, the slowest driver, in 22nd position. So, this should be a very exciting qualifying session, especially if we can have something similar like this. But for now, it's time to move on to the qualifying report. F1's most glamorous venue, the Monaco Grand Prix, is up next. The tight and twisty nature of the famous street circuit will almost certainly pull out a few surprises. Marc Genet and Luca Badoer start at the back as normal, but the interesting thing is Alex Zanardi lining up in between the two cars in 21st. His teammate Ralf Schumacher also shows that the pace of the Williams is not suited to the Monaco street circuit, as he starts 17th. It was a typical qualifying session for both Sauber and Prost. John Lacey was happy with 14th position, as was Olivier Panis, who will start alongside his fellow countryman in 15th. However, it wasn't so typical for the Stewart team. Johnny Herbert starts down in 13th, whilst teammate Rubens Barrichello is 3 paces further down the grid due to running on a less powerful engine. Arrows were by far the biggest shock of the session. Pedro de la Rosa managed a top 10 start, with Takagi coming very close in 12th. 5 different cars made the top 5. Giancarlo Fisichella was one of them, as a man who finished 3rd at the previous San Marino Grand Prix will start in an excellent 5th place. But maybe not as shocking as Jacques Villeneuve, as the Canadian starts his underpowered BAR just ahead of him in 4th. Heinz-Alf Frentzen managed 3rd, completing his best qualifying for the Jordan team, as this time it's Mika Hakkinen who will have to settle for 2nd place, making it the first time that the Finn will not start in pole position this season, meaning that Ferrari and Michael Schumacher will start the Monaco Grand Prix on pole in what will be Michael's last Monaco GP as a Ferrari driver. Okay, so qualifying has just finished. We're on the strategy screen right now. Both drivers will be doing a 1-stop, very low fuel because it is Monaco. And Gary Anderson saying that 1-stop strategy is going to be best chance due to the passing of the cars seeming to be a difficult challenge. Might be a difficult challenge from where we're starting as well. 13th for Johnny Herbert, 16th for Rubens Barrichello. Michael Schumacher collects in pole position. That's the first time we've seen someone other than Mika Hakkinen collect pole. And we've got 5 different cars taking the top 5 positions, and the most surprising one being Jacques Villeneuve in 4th for the BAR. Giancarlo Fisichella in 5th for Benetton, Damon Hill in 6th, and Eddie Irvine and David Coulthard nowhere near the pace of their teammates. They're in 7th and 8th respectively, and both Arrows have managed to out-qualify, so I don't know where Arrows have found his pace from, but well, they've managed to make it work beautifully to get 10th and 12th there. And then at the back, Williams miles down, Ralf Schumacher and Alessandro Zanardi. Frank Williams at the bottom of the Team Manager Championship. And I can imagine why that was awful performances there from the Williams boys. But definitely one messed up grid, and we should have an amazing race. So without further ado, let's get on with it. As the lights go out here, Monaco Grand Prix. It is lights out, well, it's not really lights out, isn't it? It's lights out now. We are getting off the starting line with Rubens Barrichello going back with Johnny Herbert and almost getting overtaken by that Sauber as he stays in position where he started and going out of turn 1 now towards Casino Square, still behind the Arrows. Yeah, I don't think he's gained from where he started, but we'll have a look at the screen now. Johnny Herbert, yes, 13th and 16th have stayed where they are. And, well, I think the entire grid has stayed in the exact positions from where they started. Rubens Barrichello still in 16th. Michael Schumacher leads out of turn 1. You can see, look at the speed they're going. Look at the speed they're travelling through the hairpin. See Schumacher there. That is appalling. That is really, really slow driving. And we're on board with Alexander Wirtz now, who's behind David Coulthard, I believe that is, in 9th position. Eddie Irvine, David Coulthard slowly starting to pull away from the drivers behind. Johnny Herbert in 13th, still stood behind, I believe that's Takagi in the Arrows. It's difficult to pass in Monaco, so it'll be a miracle if he can get through. But at the end of lap 1, Michael Schumacher leads the Monaco Grand Prix, and could we see a non-McLaren driver win this race? Obviously, future McLaren driver will be Michael Schumacher, but can he win the Monaco Grand Prix and finally beat the McLarens? Well, it's a lap 4 of the Grand Prix, and as you can see on the timing screen there, Rubens Barrichello has moved up to 9th. Johnny Herbert slowly moving his way through the field as well. And I forgot to mention that Rubens Barrichello is on a less powerful engine than Johnny Herbert because he crashed out in practice. And he's doing a brilliant job despite being on less power compared to his teammate. He's miles ahead of him. He's catching up to the Ferraris and the Jordans. There's Hakkinen and Schumacher just pulling away. Barrichello could do well here. He could get some points. So it looks like the backmarker teams that started very highly at the grid are dropping down. You can see Jack Villeneuve dropping down to 10th place. And Barrichello gaining right up to 5th. So a brilliant drive so far from the Stewart team. And Barrichello's only 4 seconds off, for instance, so he could be getting a podium finish if lucky. On board from right now, he is in 5th and closing down on David Coulthard and McLaren. Johnny Herbert is 9th position, so quite away from the points. So we could get both cars in the points here at Monaco. Meanwhile, Michael Schumacher continues to lead this Grand Prix, and it's not by much though. He's still got Mika Hakkinen behind him, and I think there is a 1 second gap. We'll have a look now. There is the McLaren not far behind the Ferrari driver at all. It looks like Hakkinen could have a challenge here at this race compared to the last two, where he has just dominated in both of them. Okay, moving on to the next lap now. Rubens Barrichello is in 3rd position. He is ahead of Frentzen, he is ahead of Coulthard, and Barrichello doing an amazing job, and I doubt he'll be able to catch up to the 2 cars ahead of him. I don't think we'll be able to win this race, but Barrichello doing exceptionally well and is holding off Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Jordan. What a drive that he's had, starting down 16th place on a less powerful engine as well, don't forget that. I actually think that 2nd place isn't out of the question just yet, because Barrichello is slowly catching up. He's caught up 2 seconds since the last time we checked to Mika Hakkinen, but he has got back markers to get past. That could cost him any chance of catching up. Meanwhile, going back with Johnny Herbert, he's now moved himself into the points behind David Coulthard and Heinz-Harald Frentzen, so double points could be well and truly possible here in Monaco. Just got to hope that Johnny Herbert can push hard enough to get past the 2 cars ahead of him. He can get even more points. Damon Hill's 5 seconds behind as well, so it's looking good so far with 3rd and 6th. Okay, so both drivers have moved into the points, and Johnny Herbert's moved ahead of his teammate. Not looking good for Barrichello, who's dropping back to David Coulthard, who's only half a second behind him now. Not good at all. But if Johnny can just pull away, he can get another podium. Barrichello is really under pressure. I don't think 2nd place is going to be an option now. Just got to hope that Barrichello can hold off to Frentzen and Coulthard. Well, moving ahead another few laps, and well, the interesting thing is Johnny Herbert's now the driver dropping back. And Barrichello's now in 3rd position. He's not going to catch the Hakkinen. He's just going to try and hold off Coulthard. We're going to keep him pushed for a little while longer and maybe drop him down to a whole position once he gets at least about 10-15 seconds ahead of Coulthard. Johnny Herbert dropping back now, and it's definitely not looking good for him. And he's not... Well, I think he is catching Damon Hill, but there is back markers in the way. So now Johnny's under pressure. Schumacher still continues to lead Owens, and him and Hakkinen are quite a way ahead of the rest of the field. And I said earlier that Hakkinen may have a challenge for this race, but I think he's overcome that now. He's ahead of Michael Schumacher, and he's doing a good job already, so it looks like Hakkinen's going to take another victory here. Fuck. Barrichello is out the race with driver error. Probably should have moved him down to whole position. I'm going to do the same with Johnny now that he's got past Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Oh God, that's not nice. That is. That gap is not nice. Frenzen's closing massively now. We need to push to get ahead of Frentzen. Very disappointed Barrichello has to retire from this Grand Prix, but nothing we can do, I'm afraid. On board with Johnny Herbert now. He is entering the pits, and hopefully it's a big good stop. Hopefully he can catch up as well to the cars ahead of him. Try and gain some time on them as he goes into his pit box. Take a look at the time as well. It's going to be probably hopefully around an 8-second pit stop maybe. Yep, 8.2 seconds, pretty good pit stop time. Now just push like mad, Johnny. Come on. Okay, so Johnny Herbert has passed Eddie Irvine, and he is 9 seconds ahead of the Ferrari driver. It's not going to be likely he's going to get past David Coulthard, but we never know. Just got to hope for retirements, I think. Yeah, Johnny Herbert's in 3rd position. He's doing a brilliant job again. Johnny Herbert's just passed David Coulthard to take 3rd of Monaco Grand Prix. Was that because Coulthard just pitted? I honestly have no idea. But we're in 3rd position, so that's a brilliant job. Could we get another podium finish? This would be nice if we could. Okay, so lap 65 of the Monaco Grand Prix, and David Coulthard is dropping back. I think Heinz-Alf Frentzen has overtaken him, and Mika Häkkinen still continues to lead though, but Schumacher's closing fast, so we could have a battle for the lead towards the end of this race, as Mika Häkkinen just going into the tunnel now will feel some pressure from Michael Schumacher, who is slowly catching him up. We're actually coming to lap David Coulthard, so what a good job Johnny's doing here at Monaco. There are only a few laps to go. Schumacher's right behind Mika Häkkinen. As I say that, David Coulthard's just retired from the Grand Prix, another driver error. So it's going to be close going towards the end. I think Häkkinen's just about going to win this race. There's Mika Häkkinen. I think he's just crossed the line. Yeah, I missed that, but Mika Häkkinen has won the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm so sorry about that, but Michael Schumacher pushed him to the end, and he has just crossed the line in second place. I'm sorry for missing that, guys. But yeah, Häkkinen has taken his third consecutive victory. He extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship. But Johnny Herbert is on his final lap, and well, who would have thought really? Johnny Herbert, who finished 4th in the first 2 rounds, so he's scored points at every single race so far. I think he's one of the only. I think he's one of the few drivers to do that, actually finish and score points and everything. I think he may be the only driver to do that. As he goes into the final corner, Johnny Herbert will take 3rd position here at the Monaco Grand Prix for Stewart Ford. Another brilliant drive for the British driver. Well, another fantastic result. That's 3 podiums out of 4 races. A shame that Barrichello couldn't finish. I've been disappointed with his form so far this season. One of them was a mechanical problem, but 2 of them have been driver errors, and I've not been happy with Barrichello's form. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be keeping him or not for next season. Mika Häkkinen wins again, only 700ths of a second, so Michael Schumacher really pushed into the limit this time. With Johnny Herbert finishing in 3rd, that's another podium for the Brits. Heinz-Alf Frentzen finishing in 4th, and Damon Hill 5th. Eddie Irvine collecting the final points. Only 4 retirements, one of them being Rubens Barrichello. Another very disappointing driver for the Brazilian. Let's hope he can do better in the future. He's only scored 4 points for the season so far. Johnny Herbert, well, he's on. I think he's on about 16. So let's continue. Okay, so now moving on to the Drivers' Championship standings. Mika Häkkinen is now on 30 points. Michael Schumacher, with 2nd place, is on 18 points. So it's a 12-point gap in the championship at the minute, with Johnny Herbert dropping down from 2nd to 3rd on 16 points now. David Coulthard with 10 points, and Heinz-Alf Frentzen on 8. Barrichello and Fisichella still tied with 4 points each. Also, Damon Hill joined on 4 points with Jan Trolli, Jack Villeneuve, Alex Wurz, John Lacey, Eddie Irvine finally getting a point, and Olivier Panis all scoring points as well. Only 8 drivers have yet to score, so it's still early in the season though. Häkkinen is in command of the championship at the moment. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren are double the amount of points ahead of us in 2nd, Ferrari in 3rd, 1 point behind, and then Jordan in 4th with 12 points. Still, the 3 teams yet to score are Arrows, Minardi and Williams. The Team Managers' Championship, I think it stays exactly the same as it was last time, but with John Tott ahead of Peter Sauber, Tom Walkinshaw and Frank Williams are still at the bottom. Frank Williams is still not scoring a single point yet this season. Alan Prost in 2nd though, that's still a big surprise, but Ron Dennis is slowly catching up as we are slowly putting away at the top of the Team Manager standings. So that's been it for the 4th round of the 1999 season, and next up we are going to be returning to the Circuit de Catalunya, where we did the pre-season testing at the start of the season. We finished 2nd in that, but obviously we have Ferrari to deal with this time. They didn't compete in the test, so I think it's going to be an interesting one, this race. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys have enjoyed today's Monaco Grand Prix. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, guys, it's been DMAC96. I'll see you guys next time for the Spanish Grand Prix.